All right, I guess it's that time. It's Wednesday on the Practical IT channel, and we've got some interesting stuff to go over today. We'll be taking a look at the new release of Linux Mint. We'll be doing an unboxing or two and see where things go from there. I'm not going to make any bets or any promises at this point. Maybe get this armrest to cooperate with me. That's better. All right. So I'm going to guess that some of the usual suspects are here waiting. Currently, we've got Grish. Welcome, Grish. Hopefully, some of the others will be filing in shortly. Okay, so this one I've already unboxed, but I'll hold the box up. I caught a great sale on this. I've not tested it yet. This is a USB-C to 5 gig Ethernet adapter from Sabrent. It was 40% off. And it was marked on the website as compatible with Windows, Mac, and Linux. So I've already got a 10 gig adapter in the Mac Mini, but I'm curious to see if this might work on some other machines I've got. Whether we get to testing this tonight, I'm not entirely sure. But it feels like a metal, like aluminum housing on it. Don't mind the noise coming from the other room. That's the roof leaking. The building owner is aware of it, and yet it's still leaking. So yeah, the for $29, I thought, okay, well, I've got a 1 gig adapter, a 2.5 gig adapter. Might as well see what the 5 gig adapter does. Maybe one day they'll have a 10 gig adapter that will be in this form factor and not require like extra power or a huge heat sink or something to keep it cool. Technology does march ahead, but 10 gig adapters have not quite caught up there yet.
Josephus has arrived.
According to Talk Studio, we've got 4 people watching, so welcome to those who are watching but not participating in chat. Does it cost you anything? You only have to be a subscriber for 5 minutes, and you can chat with these individuals that find themselves here on a regular basis. Yeah. Never mind, 2 suspects. I was here, my phone puked while I was typing. Got it. And Nerd45 is here. Welcome. And Jason Warbird. Welcome. All right. So the main thing I wanted to unbox tonight, and I don't know if this is rechargeable or if it needs batteries. If it does, we'll get those out in a minute. But I will make a couple of slices through the plastic. And see what we can do with this thing. It's packaged nicely. Nice vacuum seal happening there. Okay, so what do we got in the box? We've got product manual. Product manual. FCC statement. And on-off button function modification operation guide. That's fair. And so what is this? Well, we were having a discussion the other night about label printers, and the subject of this little guy came up. So it appears that this is fully USB-C, which is great, rechargeable, Bluetooth. Curious to see here, and we do have labels in here already, and it actually looks like a full spool. We'll take a look at that closer in a minute. But it also comes with a USB Type-C to Type-A cable, I'm assuming to charge. And the cool thing about this particular unit is that it is actually made for labeling cables and things, right? So the labels are such that you have two segments that are sort of the same size, and then an end piece. So you wrap the end piece around the cable, and then you flop the two other pieces, matching pieces, over top of each other to get that label effect that you want. So with the label maker, I also got, because I knew this was going to be a smaller label machine, I also got a package of 3 additional tapes for this thing. But you know, this is kind of cool. I like the small size of it, and the fact that it's rechargeable. My Brother P-Touch Cube, in contrast, is a big honking thing that takes 6 AAA batteries and uses the standard Brother P-Touch label tape, which is, I mean, the label tape is nearly the size of this whole thing here. So I'm interested to see if we can get this going tonight. So let's see. Package contents. Okay. Installation. Power button. Press and hold the power button for 3 seconds to power on. And we've got a light. It's a good sign. Slide the door to open the paper compartment. So we've got the paper compartment opened. Place the label paper in the paper compartment with the print side down and the first label protruding from the paper outlet. Doesn't really make it clear how far that should be protruding. So I don't know where this opens at. Open here. Okay. So I believe should be this way. So we'll see what we can do with this. That's too much. This is why I don't really like unboxings all that much. They're fine. No, it's a smart machine. So it pushed it out and sucked it back in. So now, where did I put my phone? All right, so now I've got to load this Nimbot app. So we'll go to the Play Store and search NIIM bot, Nimbot. That appears to be the old one. Android wireless printer. Is this it? No, it doesn't appear to be. No, that's not it. Nimbot Limited. Print and label with Nimbot. The simpler, the better. Well, that seems to be it. We'll see what happens. Okay, we're up to 8 people watching. Individuals is an upgrade. Something like that. Hey, Terrell, welcome in. Oh, it's actually, it was labeled as a box cutter on Amazon. I bought a package of like 4 or 5 of these for $10, if even that. There was the orange one, the blue, yellow, and green. I think there's 4 in a package. Can't wait for the demo. I may buy the label maker. Who in chat recommended this? I forget. I don't know. Somebody did. I don't remember exactly who. I know we were talking about it the other night. I think Sunday night. But I guess Mr. T has one coming. And I think he pities the fool that didn't deliver his package today. Okay, open. Agree. All right. Now, download the software. Connect to print. Once the app is downloaded, make sure your phone's Bluetooth is turned on. Open the app and search for Bluetooth devices. Ask for a pin. It's double quad 0 or 1, 2, 3, 4. View help guide. This one. Got it. Connect the printer. Allow. Connect. Pair with, yes. Pair. Well, made a little chime. Use current consumables in printer. Okay. So we can like this. We're just going to do all right, we're going to do this. Their app is not the most user-friendly. Oh, that's why. Test. We're just going to print that. Done. Make it bold. Print. Sure. Okay. So yeah, I guess these weren't these are the labels that came with the printer. So may or may not focus. It just printed test. I didn't want to waste a whole bunch of stuff here. So yeah, I can see where those are going to be nice. Now, the curiosity I've got is whether these other ones that I ordered are the same exact labels or if they're a little different. It appears these are the actual ones that I thought were going to come with the printer. So again, this probably isn't going to focus where the damn, but the there's like a leader that's narrower, and then two segments of labels that basically you fold over each other to give you the like a double-sided label that you can put on a cable or whatever and go from there. But I'm probably going to just use these this starter tape first and see where we go from there. But I will have to play with this a little bit more. There it goes off. And I can report back. Are you implying that it was you, Joe, that recommended this? I honestly don't remember. I didn't keep track. And yeah, it's been an interesting start to the week coming off the long holiday weekend. So no, it wasn't you. Okay. I'd have to go back into the last the chat from the last stream and figure out who it was. Okay, so we still got 8 people watching. If everybody can hit that like button, hit the thumbs up, it'd be greatly appreciated. Let's take a quick look at this. Let me get logged in there. Log in. Probably going to want a code. Two-factor authentication, you know. See if that gets me logged in or not. Okay, so I did end up finally going ahead and getting those domain names. I probably went a little overboard, but hey, I've got room to play now, right? Let me share my screen. And we can take a look at what I've got now. All right, so the top two I had like my .video and homelab.fun. I've had since last year. So the new ones I got are like.cloud, like.beer, like.me, genexpert.xyz, like.online, and likeItorNot.xyz. So I guess I was having fun, but for I think the $15 I spent on what 6 new domains, 1, 2, 3, 6. I can't complain, right? So I may have to go turn on the air conditioner. I am starting to sweat. It rained and now it's all kinds of humid. So yeah, we've got domains to play with. Now, one of the things that I'm planning to do is to install Pangolin, which is similar to, say, Cloudflare Tunnels, but it's self-hosted, right? Last release was 2 days ago. So, you know, it's one of those things that I'd at least like to take a stab at this. And I've got domains I can use with it now, at least on a temporary basis, because I can always, you know, just park them again, right? So anyway, that's sort of an agenda item there. I want to get into doing that since I somehow managed to screw up my Cloudflare tunnel setup, and it just don't work no more. And try as I might, I have not figured out what setting I changed and messed up. But somewhere along the line, I done did something. So there have been a few things, and I think I've cleared them already, but there have been a few things that I have discovered over the last couple of days watching Fresh RSS. And if you saw my quick video that I did this morning, because I was not having a good time with midweek news, so that's on hold. But I went through and I did an install of Linux Mint 22.2. this morning. I just did a soundtrack under it, and during the long install portion, I just sped it up by 10x, and I put it out. Now, that's not typically how I do videos. It's doing okay. It's at a 3 out of 10 for long form videos. So it's not awful. And it's honestly, it's been a while since I've released long form videos. So I expect it's going to take a few to kickstart the algorithm on my long form stuff again. But I have added, I think, 3 subscribers today, which is all right. I'll take it. Now the shorts for the month of September. I'm not convinced yet that PowerShell was. Well, I guess I can't say that. So the one I released on the first of the month already has 808 likes, and yesterday's has 754 likes. I'll take it. Or excuse me, 754 views. Today's video only has 62 with 5 likes. So I'm looking at that one as sort of a dud. But it is what it is. You can't hit out of the park with all of them, right? So, regroup and move on, right? So yeah, I mean, it's a work in progress. I made almost $4 for the month. I guess that's not awful. I don't know. I'm feeling playful with things right now. That's why I put the video out this morning that I did. And we'll see. I don't anticipate making a lot of these faceless videos with just a soundtrack underneath them, and a little bit of text sprinkled throughout. But if that's gonna get me views, then I may sprinkle a few of those in with everything else. Especially for things like installations, which I just find dull to narrate. But that's me. So, all right. Are there any questions or comments so far? Suppose I should. No, there we go. I should ask that question before we go on. I will be right back. I'm going to go flip on the air conditioner because it's very warm in this room right now. I'll be right back. All right. Maybe it will be better in here with the fan going and the AC in the other room. It was just getting stuffy. My trusty old thermometer says 82 degrees in here right now with the lights on. Okay, so let me put this back on. So let me close that and bring this back up. So I got Mint installed earlier today. My settings, local. I'll open the console. There we go. So, truth be told, with this new version, the biggest thing that you're getting, in all honesty, the biggest thing that you're going to get out of this new release, besides doing a catch up on all the security releases, security updates, is you're going to get the 6.14 kernel. This version of Mint is based on Ubuntu 24.04.3, I believe, which is the most recent one. And other than that, you've got some minor changes on different versions of stuff that typically come with Mint. The Cinnamon desktop and some of the applications got a bump in version. And this isn't a release that's introducing a lot of new features. Now, the big thing that is a new feature this time around is for laptops. If you've got a fingerprint reader, there's a new app for that. And obviously on this machine, it's not going to do anything because there's no fingerprint reader detected. I will be testing this on my ThinkPad that does have a fingerprint reader. And maybe I'll do a demo of that in a video later in the week. But this is a very new piece of software, version 1.0.4. And if we open up the website for that, our version is actually newer than what's showing on GitHub, apparently. This says it was released on June 5th, and our version has to be newer than that. So I'm a little surprised by that, actually. I don't want to take a freaking survey. Don't need to open previous tabs. Thank you, just the same. So yeah. You might be asking, sometimes I ask myself, why do I keep bothering with Linux Mint? And there we go. And there's one big reason in particular. So we'll spin up another VM, and we'll just call this Mint Demo. And we're going to put that on VMs 1. Oh, I guess that doesn't need to be local. Linux Mint 22.2. We're going to leave this as a BIOS system, and we'll make that 60 gigs. And everything else will make about the same as the system that's booted up already. But the reason that I even bother with Linux Mint anymore, starts right here in this menu. Is this not going to cooperate with me? Stop. All right, let's close that out. Try this again. That's better. So what we have that is interesting to me with Linux Mint. Now, Mint isn't typically something I'm going to run on an everyday machine. I do, in fact, have it installed on one of my ThinkPad laptops to experiment with. But part of that was knowing that this fingerprint reader app was coming and wanting to be able to test that, right? But the install, the OEM install, which is for manufacturers in parentheses there, is it going to register my keystrokes, or is it going to be a pain in my behind? The idea with this is that it will let you do some minor customizations and then be able to effectively do an operation similar to a sysprep on Windows. When you shut the machine down, you can start it back up again, and it will boot up into the first run experience. Windows calls it the out of box experience, OOBE. So basically, if you wanted to sell a machine on eBay or Facebook Marketplace or XYZ location, you could have a generic install of Linux Mint that you just dump the image onto these machines so that you're not selling them as machines with no operating system on them at all. So, you know, how many people are actually going to use that? I can't say. I have thought about giving some machines away as I'm downsizing things this year. And, you know, one thing that I thought about doing is, you know, some of these are Windows 10 era machines. Obviously, in a month, Windows 10 is going to, you know, have taps played for it. And unless you've enrolled in their extended support period to get one more year of updates out of it, your machine isn't going to get updates anymore. And at least with having Linux Mint loaded on here, if you're giving a computer to a kid, for instance, they can start it up, they can put their own username and password in, and they can start tinkering until you know they are satisfied tinkering with it. And you know, it's one of those things where, given the nature of Linux, you could, if you so chose to be that nice, you could provide a mechanism where a parent or a tech savvy kid could be able to restore to that initial setup, right? Now, knowing full well that they may destroy their files in the process. Well, you got to learn somehow, right? Um, I I just I feel like observing kids these days, and we've got some interesting ones that come into the library. We'll just say that. But watching these kids, they they think they know a lot about computers, but I've probably forgotten more than they've ever known. Um, they are very, very um, cautious about asking for any sort of help. And so, let experience be their teacher. If they burn it down, then they need to find a way to rebuild it, right? So, I view this as a way that, put in the hands of the right kid, they could really learn something, and it might just kickstart their interest in actually learning real methods to fix things. I can't guarantee anything, but when I was 12, I would have loved to have somebody just give me a computer of my own, even if it was a crusty old POS. Um, and no, I don't mean point of sale. Um, so yeah. Anyway, this will take a few minutes to go through. Um, so I'm going to take this off screen for a minute. Are there any questions, comments? Cat got your tongue? Joe, are you out walking the dog? You listening on your earbuds? How's the bass response on the earbuds?
Josephus.
Um, anyway, so while that is doing its thing, let me open something else back up here. Um, this one. Well, that's not it. Do that. Cancel. Okay, so let me bring this on screen for a minute. So this is my subscriber account. Subscriber, I demoed a few months back. It's an AI tool that I picked up that is specifically tuned for YouTube creators, right? So I got thinking about something, and I wanted to ask a specific question. And earlier today, I did that, and apparently it did not save that chat. Well, let me retry that. Let's see if it spits back relatively the same thing that it gave me earlier. Which I think it will, or something close. Okay, so what was it telling me this time? Not exactly the same that it gave me earlier. So I'm at basically 1.7 million total channel views. 90-day video count is about 80. So it's telling me, yes, exactly what I sort of expected. Channel growth is being heavily driven by short form content. And let's see, long form, 15 plus minutes, including news and streams, struggle to outperform. These hover near or below channel average. Viewers drop fast. Some outliers are deep dives. Mid-length how-to or deep demos, 5 to 15 minutes. Well, that seems to be our sweet spot, right? And that's actually the previous version of RescueZilla. That's from last year. But that's an 8.8 times outlier. So this is the part that it sort of gave me earlier. Short form drives sub growth, not loyalty. That's pretty obvious. Long form and live news is a retention sink. They underperform for 90% of uploads. Yep. Actual deep dives are the real outliers. When your long form pops, it's because you go hyper practical. RescueZilla Banger, Proxmox Tricks, Open Media Vault Guide. These build real retention and get repeat visits. But you haven't leaned into this format in a consistent series. And it tells you what to do to sort of balance things out, right? Kill or rethink low retention live and news. And so, yes, again, I'm really torn on moving the live streams and midweek news over to a separate channel. Remix old bangers into new long form. Expand high performing shorts into 10 to 15 minute guides, referencing the original with more tips or Q&A. Try my most popular tips explained and go deeper with each. Use playlists and series branding. So they give some suggested titles or example titles. So yeah, I've got apparently a winning formula for the shorts, but everything else is a shit show. So I don't know. I don't really want to do a separate channel, but this channel is, I don't think it's going to go anywhere if I continue doing all these long live streams. So maybe at least a partial solution is I keep doing them, and after 24 hours, they go members only. I got nothing. I just um I mean, I could potentially take and edit some of these long form videos down, or long live streams down, and you know, not clip them into shorts, because reformatting this is a giant pain in the butt. But you know, still keep them in 16:9 ratio and just make shortened versions of them. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. It feels like a one step forward, two steps back type of scenario right at the moment. Um, I'm here. Dog got my tongue. Alonzo, welcome in. Um, I'm tempted to go a month, and you know, do like one public live stream for the whole month. Um, and you know, try to put out more long form videos instead of spending all my time sitting here chatting, because this isn't growing the channel. So um, you know, the other option is to move the long forms to a separate channel, and or the live streams to a separate channel, and keep doing them on a separate channel. I know of several channels that have split things off like that. Um, and you know, I'm not opposed, I guess. I won't do away with them completely, but you know, doing 4 a week isn't going to sustain this in any sort of way. So, all right, let's see. Installation is complete. You need to restart the computer. I'm going to pull this and don't use media. And so this will boot into effectively a management session, right? So, um, so we'll do updates. We'll take a look at maybe a couple pieces of software to add, and then we will prepare for shipping to end user. I'll do a snapshot in between, of course, but okay, so we got updates. Now we need to go to the software manager. And let this load up. Um, I sporadically post on the other platforms. I get very little traction from posting on the other platforms. Once we get a week in to the month, I will post the playlist for the PowerShell shorts on LinkedIn. Whether or not I post it on Facebook or Mastodon, I don't know. I have deleted all my Twitter accounts, so I will not be posting on that platform. So you know, it's one of those things where I'd rather put up a website, even a very simple one, and you know, put up you know, a 2-paragraph article for each video I post and build that instead of trying to do you know, other social media platforms. Okay, so we need to update our thingamajig here. Hopefully it will do something. And let's just pick I don't know, metrocast.net and reload apt cache. So at some point this will reload. I've grown to sort of despise social media. Yeah, I'm sort of in that boat as well, Alonzo, but I have not really dug into Reddit enough to know where it's safe to post my video links. So I've avoided posting on that platform. Now I'm sure that if there's a fog subreddit, I'm sure my videos have been posted there before by somebody. Just wasn't me. So we'll load up a couple things on here to customize our install, right? Okay, so we've put FileZilla on. I want to see if NetPeak. Okay, so we'll actually launch this one. In a minute, because this is a new app that I just became familiar with. Thanks to following the FlatHub updates on my Fresh RSS feed. Let's see. Is there a public bulletin board at the library? Post a link to your YouTube channel. I've always been cautious about doing that because I don't want this endeavor to be seen as a part of the library or being endorsed by the library in any way. Um, but I have thought about that. I could probably not necessarily do the library I work at, but do the library here local in town. Um, so, all right. So, what is NetPeak? Um, and hey, I could probably clip this out, right? Um, so, um, NetPeak is another network scanner. And it's relatively quick. It's built for GNOME. And it's pretty basic and simple, which is okay. But as you can see here, hopefully, by default, it does list the hosts in order by the last octet. And so, many of these are going to show up as host name unknown. Looks like maybe all of them show up as host name unknown. That could be because I didn't run it as with sudo privileges. But it is nice from the aspect that it gives you a clean interface. I believe this was made to be a responsive interface as well. So if you are using like Ubuntu Touch on a phone, you could use this on that sort of device as well with a 9:16 type screen or 10:16 or whatever it might be. Okay. So, anyways, NetPeak is kind of fun. It is a rather new piece of software. There aren't many options with it, so you can scan your network, but you can't export the data in any fashion. Which I guess for me personally, it limits the usefulness of it. But if you are a general user, which Linux Mint is sort of aimed at that more casual user, um, something like that, having it preloaded could be useful if you are adding like IoT devices or something to your network and you need a quick way to find a new device but not necessarily interact with it, right? So what else can we add to our little customization here? Well, let's see. We can add Note Snook. which is my preferred application for note taking. Your mileage may vary. I found it to be tremendously helpful for notes for a variety of things, including my initial notes that I build for midweek news. And yes, I admit I'm still looking for a more streamlined way of building those notes, but Notes Nook has been a great way of keeping track of that so far. So yeah, I don't know what else to add to this. I mean, we could go in and we could look for fonts and say we want to install some random font. So fonts, Canterel. So that's installed. Let's see if it's actually available. Just for grins. And there it is, Canterel, extra bold. So that's there. You know, what is the new name of that? Not Lutris. What is the name of that now? They changed the name. It was called Mine Test. Luanti. Let's see if that's in here. They still are showing Mind Test in here, which is the old version, but we can install that just for grins. Give them something to do, right? Oh, there it is. That's what I was looking for, actually. So, let's see. Let's see. Streams on another page would be palatable. It's more about the hang. Yep. Yeah, I mean that's possible. I could just post the practical IT channel and post a QR code to get there. Stopping to say, hey, about the same label maker arrives tomorrow. Somehow mine is in hand. How it ended up getting delivered to me before it got delivered to you, Not entirely sure. Logistically, that probably shouldn't happen, but different shipping companies, I'm assuming. I think mine was delivered by one of the contractors that work for Amazon that put things in their cars. Give out business cards at local stores near you. Post a sign in your yard, just your YouTube channel. That's an idea. Magnetic sign on your car with YouTube channel could be a cost-effective and portable way to promote the channel. That's an idea. I'd have to look into seeing if I can get something like that made up. And, you know, just put Practical IT channel and put a big QR code on it. And then, you know, do logos for Proxmox and Open Media Vault and Linux and a couple other things. Could be interesting. Like a Domino's pizza on top. Yes, with color lights. Blue and red to go to tech emergencies. Oh boy, here we go. Cheap audio gear and network gear is a hobby for me. I'm about done buying gear. Yeah. I should be done buying gear. I'm planning a purchase for next year. I don't know how early in the year it will be. But since I don't want to find myself in a situation again where my Mac Mini is on the obsolete list, I'm planning an upgrade to either the M4 or M5 Mac Mini. Hopefully by the middle of the year. And it's just going to come down to what sales I can catch or if I can get a good deal on a refurb unit. But given the redesign of the Mac Mini chassis and the fact that there are several companies making bases for it that give you additional I/O and an internal M.2 NVMe slot. You know, I'm contemplating the upgrade from what I've got. I will ship you a grab bag of stuff. Cool. That could be fun. We'll email you first. Very, very well. Do not want to ship my stuff to you that you will not use. Yep. I can appreciate that sentiment. All right. Well, I guess we've added enough fun stuff to this this Mint system. So what I want to do now is I want to shut it down momentarily. We're going to take a snapshot. And then we'll start it back up. So the idea here being we've made our customizations, we've installed some additional software. It even picked up my printer without me having to do anything. Excuse me. So now we prepare for shipping to the end user, right? All right, and it tells you OEM config will run the next time the system boots. Fair enough. So from here we shut down. This would be the same as if you were doing sysprep on a Windows machine. And typically what I do at this point is I will come in here and I will say use the RescueZilla disk. I also typically change the boot order so that the optical disk is on top. I'm going to take off NetBoot for the moment. And then we'll go ahead and start this. And it should not do what I wanted it to do. Whoops. All right. Well, we'll skip making the image in RescueZilla. So this is what you would expect to see if you were unpacking a machine that has a fresh install of Linux Mint on it. Similar to what you see when you unpack a new Windows machine, you have to set the time zone, your name, and we'll just call this demo. And it's going to finish the system configuration, and you'll end up with a system that is basically ready to be used. I mean, with any new system, of course, the first thing you want to do is run your updates, and then, customize it however you see fit after that, right? Again, my preferred Linux OS right now would typically be Pop OS. I like what System 76 is doing with their Cosmic Desktop. It is supposed to be entering beta real soon now. But the version I had on the machine downstairs, and this is something that put me a little behind on other projects over the weekend, was too old to support the Intel graphics card that I put in that machine. So I'm having to temporarily replace Pop OS with a newer version of Ubuntu so that I have a newer kernel that will support the Intel Arc drivers. So this should do this. Maybe that's a little better. Maybe. Maybe I should just put myself down in the corner. That might be better yet. So I'm going to turn this off. Yeah, I hit an extra button and it didn't boot into RescueZilla the way I wanted it to, so we didn't capture the image. Not the end of the world, but I am going to eject that disk. And so that should go away here in a minute. Anyway, so right out of the box, we've got Minty, which is what one of the things I installed. And so say we want to install Mineclonia. Okay. So we can install that. And then we go back and back again. And now we've got Mineclonia, enable damage, start game. Select mods. Do we have any mods to select? No. No world created or selected. Okay, so new. Sure. Play game. So it's creating the server, and if you've seen the kids play Minecraft, this is going to be very similar. Let's see. So obviously it's not a game I play. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. So apparently you're swinging a sword. Anyways, enough of that garbage. Yeah. We're in the water. He's going to die. You died. I don't want to respawn. Anyways, so system monitor. Let's see. Resources, file systems. Can we find this in here and kill it? Stop. Stop. It still doesn't want to die. Ugh. Fine. We'll force it. Anyways. Would you look at that? We've been live for an hour and 25 minutes already. Where's the time going, people? Let's see. That's what I wanted to do. Signal. Ha! Ha 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 ha! Oh boy. Oh boy. How 90s? Don't you know all 5.0 is driving SUVs now? That is a classic Crown Vic if I ever saw one. Anyways, so yeah, I will probably be doing a video specifically on the OEM install of Linux Mint. at some time in the relatively near future. I also, once Ubuntu 25.10 hits beta status, I'm going to build a couple of videos using the beta that I'll wait to release until after the full release happens in October. But doing it that way, I can release the same day they that Canonical releases the final ISO images. So, I'm not opposed to building a video based on the beta, and then if I have to make a supplementary video saying, "Hey, they changed these 3 things, so you can disregard these or re-edit the video and re-upload it," then I can always do that. But it's one of those things where I'm willing to experiment a little bit if it means a spike in views and returning to the returning to where I was as far as guarantee me a payout every month from the YouTubes, because it's been a rough 3 months, and going from getting paid every month to every other month is a little rocky there. But this too shall pass, and I'm willing to experiment a little bit, right? So I've got the template that I've been using for the live streams for the thumbnails. That has greatly helped me speed up the process of making the thumbnails. Are they visually exciting? No, not really. But do they get the point across, and are they quick to put together? Yes. So anyways, nice. It's a retired cop car. I figured as much. Imagine you pulling up to help people with their tech issues in that. Yeah. Eat dirt, Geek Squad. Yeah, well, I don't trust the Geek Squad, and I don't trust anybody that would actually use the Geek Squad if they have any other option. I had the Magic Geek Squad disc back in the day. Yeah, I swear I had found an ISO for one online at one point in time. TVJ, welcome in. Hang in there. The one of the 20 engineers on my team, Riff, still looking for good paying IT jobs. Yeah, it's a tough job market right now, which is in large part why I'm staying put. That and getting through a couple of medical procedures my dad is having done. One was last week, one is next week. I had the opportunity to hire for or to interview for a job, potentially interview for a job um, through a recommendation, but I turned it down just because I was right in the midst of all this stuff for my dad, and traveling as far as I'd have to travel for that would not really be an option right at this particular point in time. I hated having to do that, but uh, you know, by this time next year, I should be in a much better place to consider an upheaval in my life and, uh, you know, do something different. And hopefully um, there will be some sort of job I might be able to land at that point in time. But it's probably a year off anyways. Um, you know, it's been a long um it's just been one thing after another ever since that tornado came through in 2023. Um, I've still got a deck that's not finished more than a year later. Um, I don't know what to do. I'm I don't know. So I've got to figure out some way forward with that. And, you know, once at least I can get the old man past this next medical procedure, then I can start, you know, at least thinking about doing some things. The one thing I have been doing though is I've been looking at some material for um, a couple of different certifications that seem doable between now and the time I would start a real job search next year. So that is one thing that I'm trying to focus on. I'm trying to get 30 minutes to an hour in a couple times a week while I'm at work, um, because I've had a green light to work on certifications. So you know it's one of those things that I'm at the point I got to do it. I got to do it. So we'll see what happens next, right? um, let's see. My oldest son, the U.S. Marine, now a deputy sheriff in North Carolina, was a member of our local Best Buy Geek Squad for about 6 months before he went to basic Marine training back in 2009. Testing the word firmware. Had another comment removed, trying to figure what word I used. I told my son back when he was in the squad he would not be promoted unless he sold at least 10 maintenance contracts. Yeah. Yeah, I believe it. All right. Well, we've been live an hour and 36 minutes. We'll go to an hour and 45 minutes, and then I'm going to wrap up. Because I think tomorrow morning I've got an appointment I need to go to before I go to work. So let me just double check that. Yes, I've got a dentist appointment just for cleaning at 10:30, and then I have to be to work at 12:30. So I'll be able to go to the dentist, get my cleaning done, and then go get lunch and go to work. So it'll be a day. It'll be a day. But all right. Any other questions, comments, suggestions? I don't know. Let's see. Posts. Do. So I posted a poll on the community page. What is your goal for September? Learning PowerShell commands, 11%. Learning Linux commands, 33%. Work on the home lab, add something new, clean up existing, 44%. Something else. Somebody said they were looking for their wife, or their future wife. And I said, protect yourself with a prenup. But then again, I'm one of those snarky, jaded individuals that always advises people to get a prenup. Yeah, rub it in. The rest of us will be working until the day we die because there's not going to be any Social Security left for us. I hear Google is disallowing. What do you hear they're disallowing? I'm not a mind reader. I don't want to try finishing that statement for you. I figure it's probably their overactive AI that's trying to censor things. Oh, it deleted my comment. Wow. You can't ask for a prenup if your gal knows where he keeps. Yeah, I think I get what you mean by that. Side loading. I don't know. Testing the word GCC. Google is deleting stuff on you mid-sentence. Have you tested the GCC update? I have not. My understanding is that it's still in beta, and since the GCC is my primary router firewall device, I'm not going to experiment with beta firmware. Once it's released, absolutely I'll jump on board. But right now I'm holding back. Google is disallowing what I wrote on Pixel, so no more Graphene OS probably. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what's going on with that going forward. I know they're the 10 series devices, Pixel devices, have met with some mixed reviews, potential issues with wireless charging and other things. I just hope that this thing holds out until I can get another phone, because I don't really want to. I really don't want to have a fire. And I still can't find a place that has a battery in stock to actually replace the battery. So likely I'm going to end up having to buy a new phone. And this is only like not even 2.5 years old since I bought it. Have a good one, Jay. All right, everybody. We are almost at that hour and 45-minute mark. I am going to wrap things up for the night. And yeah, I've got some thinking to do on how best to proceed forward. But it may come down to moving the midweek news and the live streams over to a separate channel, at least as an experiment, right? Because I can always bring it back over here, right? You know. So, anyways, everybody have a good night, and we'll be back soon with something new and maybe a little different. Another short's coming out tomorrow morning at 9:30. See you then.